Ever since I was young, well, ever since my father was young, there has been a long high fence on this road. Behind it sits an underground bomb factory. Well, that's the story that I grew up with. I've always wanted to explore this site, but this document has prevented me from doing so. With the help of the Dorset Architectural Heritage Group, I was able to visit the decommissioned factory at Holton Heath. The most substantial buildings are situated at the main entrance, and these are the only structures that have official historical interest. There is a small museum that contains mainly office items such as the time clock and stationery.
I like the Hurt book.
The most unusual item is the scale model of the factory. It was used to show people how to get around the site in an age when map reading was not a common skill.
During the Cold War, official British maps would often show British military areas as a large white space, whereas maps of the UK, produced in Russia, shows every road and building.
During the war, thousands of workers would arrive by bicycle, bus or train and would pass through these gates, only to be subjected to daily searches for contraband such as cigarettes. An old chum used to work here on important top-secret military stuff. When he was drunk, he told me it was anti-fouling, the paint used on the hull of a ship to stop weeds growing.
I've got a different story.
So what is cordite? Cordite is a smokeless propellant used since the 1880s to replace gunpowder. This factory was set up by the Royal Navy during World War I. During World War II, production was once again stepped up to supply the Admiralty. The site is full of small buildings of all shapes and sizes, and for me, they are the most interesting. I wonder what stories they could tell. Most of the site has been redeveloped and cleared away. Some of the railway engine sheds are still here. Whilst the trains still pass by, the internal railway tracks have been removed. You might think this is an outside toilet. It was in fact a poison store.
Keeping the site secret from the Germans was a non-starter, as between the wars, a large amount of equipment had been bought from Germany and installed by German engineers.
At first glance, this might appear to be the largest plant pots in England. These tubs were used in the production of acetone, which is a colourless, volatile and highly flammable liquid. Acetone was essential in the production of cordite. Despite my family living just a few miles from the factory, it was only my great-aunt Daisy who worked in the canteen during the war. It turns out there never was an underground factory.
Conspiracy theorists, speak up now.
And the bomb-making equipment was removed a long time ago. It's just the ghosts and the decaying buildings that remain. Any building that produced explosives would have had an earthen bank surrounding it. If an accident happened, the explosion would have been forced upwards, protecting nearby buildings and workers. Hopefully, what's left of the cordite factory will be preserved, as I feel that these buildings are just as important as any other historical site.